Okay, we'll start. First of all, thank you very much to all of you for coming. I know that it is a difficult time of the day. It is the last day. It is like 4 in the afternoon. Okay, so I will try my talk to be entertaining, okay? So, first of all, physical penetration testing. When you see this title, I'm sure that most of you have been a bit like surprised and say, what is that? What is he talking about? Well, I'm sure that some of you know, but others don't. So basically, we will be talking about how you do a physical penetration. That is to say, how you check on sensors, alarms, etc. So this is not a technical speech, okay? I will not be showing exploits or anything. So these are very simple techniques. And the good part about my presentation is that you can attack physically a high number of companies. And those of you who are working companies, are heads of securities, if you don't take care of the physical part of it, after my presentation, check on your company. So I am a security consultant, as Roman said. I am also a co-founder with the project HiSec. I co-founded it with a friend of mine. I have some certifications, as you can see on the screen. That's my Twitter address and my blog. So these are the different parts of my presentation, starting off with the introduction, then what a red team is, then a methodology that we should follow. Then I tell you about a practical case. This is what is most interesting, and we will be looking at physical tests, how to jump sensors, etc. And then I will finish off with some conclusions. So what is a physical penetration test? It is about evaluating the physical security controls and procedures in an environment. Well, I know that you all know what an intrusion test is. This is more physical. So what you think and what your computer does not come into the play. But this time, you have to measure everything very careful. When you do this type of test, you have to be very clear as to what you want to do, what are your plans. You have to identify everything very clearly. Well, why do we have to do that? We have to do it basically because information may store information in two manners. Physically, that is to say on paper, and digitally. Most of the storage is digital. Companies put up very many security measures, firewalls, etc. to protect themselves from external attacks. However, many times they do not realize that if I can enter the CPD or the company, I am getting access to the internal network. And I've seen that in many big, large companies may have very robust security measures, but physically speaking, it is trivial to attack them, to go in there. And I'll show you how. Well, what are the different phases? Well, there are several phases. The first one is planning and intelligence. Actually, there are many other phases, but I have just included 2 of them just to make our practical case easier. So we have this intrusion part, recognizing the environment, intelligence, social engineering, and then a second part, which is the actual breaching. So there is a non-intrusive part and an intrusive part. So when it comes to security in companies, and here, well, we are used to dealing with digital security, but companies also have other type of security. We have the physical one, penetration testing, then we have a social part, which is, well, social engineering, and then we have a physical part. So if you want to secure a company, you really need to check on these 3 aspects. If you check all these aspects separately, you will get many attacks. Many attacks will be out of the scope, will not be reached out. Sometimes you just don't check the access control. All that is a part of the security which is in between physical and digital. And that's why it is so important to carry out red team exercises. So, well, yesterday's speaker talking about the red team focused on digital side, but today we will see red team not only as digital, but also as a check on global measures. So red team, this is the definition of it, could be controlled but real intrusion in an organization using physical, digital or social vectors to obtain the most important assets of the company. That is to say, simulating a real attack. If I am an attacker, I want to attack the company with very many firewalls, that would be difficult for me. But if I get to that environment, I see that breaking or breaching into the company is trivial. If that is trivial, the company continues to be as vulnerable as if it didn't have any firewalls. And that's the reason why this is so important. Red team, very quickly, I tell you 4 characteristics. First of all, multidisciplinary team. You need to have experts, logical security, social security, and physical one. Then, the intrusion test or penetration test consists in putting yourself in the mind of an attacker. And this time we do the same thing, but for any field. It is important to highlight that Red Team wants to have the real impact that an attack will have. Okay? And later on, the end is not only checking security controls in place, but also evaluating the efficiency of the blue team, as Alejandro said yesterday. Some characteristics here, some differences. Penetration testing often takes place in one dimension, often digital, and the Red Team works on all the dimensions. The Red Team is more static. There are methodologies and cases may change from one company to another, but when you do a Red Team exercise, it can be that in some cases you only do physical intrusion, but then you may move on to digital to physical. But penetration testing tells you about all the vulnerabilities, the paths to follow, but penetration testing doesn't tell you about the profile of the attacker. But when you do Red Team, at the end you know the attacker's profile. And well, it tells you so according to the vectors that have been used, technology, knowledge, etc. And last, penetration testing takes place in an office schedule. However, Red Team exercise is different. You have some time, and they go and tell you, okay, for this month you can do the Red Team exercise, and you decide when. But when you do it, well, you can use 24 hours or as many time as you need. And then in penetration testing, you find and exploit vulnerabilities, and the Red Team is about measuring business impact of successful attacks. When you do intrusion or an attack, you only look at one aspect of the security in the company. In Blue Team, that's what you do. But in Red Team, you know the asset of the company and you try to measure. You want to measure the impact of a real attack. So now I'd like to go through the phases. As I said, we have the first one, information gathering, another one, physical intrusion and social engineering to access the environment. Then you take control of the device. Then you check out what's on the network. Then you get access to servers. Then you search for the information that you want to obtain, and then you exfiltrate information. So very quickly, I'll tell you about the methodology that you should follow when you do a physical intrusion test. And now, as I say, we'll focus on the physical side. Methodology, I have divided it into parts. I would like to focus more on the breach side. As I said, alarms, sensors, etc. And then, okay, breach, and then planning and intelligence. So, in planning and intelligence, the first part is defining targets and scope. Then we will have the information gathering through the internet, etc. Then we do a first preliminary analysis about the company's main assets, where they are located. So for you to have a feel about the company, etc. Then we have the recognition part, which is passive. You don't even need to go into the environment, and then the active recognition, where you need to go inside the environment. Then intelligence part, when you do analysis, when you apply some intelligence tasks. Then planning and analysis define very clearly the plans that you want to follow, because here in physical intrusion you want to have everything well calculated. Vectors, if you are going to do social engineering, to be very clear as to what you can say and what you cannot say. And then in the also very important is the practice, the trial. When you do an intrusion test, whether it is on the web or external one, when you do the intrusion you have very many opportunities ahead. For instance, if you want to access equipment and you try Metapred, etc. If it doesn't work, you try something else. But in the physical part, this is different. If you have done the planning and the intelligence and you have decided to go in, you have to be very sure that you can go in. Of course, you are not going to risk it. If you are going to break into the building, the alarm is going to go off, and then they are going to call the police, etc. So you have to measure everything beforehand very well. And then the very last part, which is the execution. Now I will focus very quickly on, will tell you very quickly on that. First part, information gathering, gathering information about on the internet about the company, assets, etc. Second, recognition, the passive one. You walk around the building, external environments, emergency doors, type of windows. So that is to say the environment, but well, the company, but from the outside. Then active recognition, you walk into the building, you go on the building, where are the lifts, so surveillance of employees and guards when they change shift, very clear as to the uniforms and the budgets, and very many other things. Then in part of intelligence, you try to talk to people, gather information, do some social engineering. And now let us move on to the part that I'm interested in. Okay, the intrusion part, or the breach, would be bypassing the access control. We can do lockpicking, tailgating, or well, you can just walk into or follow someone and they just breaking, keypad, biometric, budgets. And then we can also bypass the access control through non-controlled physical access. So for instance, if there is a physical door that is open, that would be it. And now, once you are in, you will find sensors and alarms. We have different type of sensors. Within motion sensors, we have the PIR. It's a passive infrared sensor, photoelectric ones, ultrasonic, magnetic ones, etc. And after all that, if you are doing red team exercise, once you are in the physical environment, you can do all these and much more. That is to say, to connect to the network, then you leave a Raspberry. So for instance, if the team has enabled USB, you just do a COM boot just to break or to breach the network, because, well, as I said, you know, companies do not have information stored physically but digitally. And last, it would be obtaining confidential information. Okay, I'm doing well with time. Okay, now I can take it. I can go slowly. So, practical case. This is an invented case, but based on a real case. Many of the things I will be showing you are based on real life. However, we have just invented it. So, practical case. He's trying to break down or to break the door, demolish the door. We will not do it, not at all. When you want to do physical intrusion test, you just do the opposite of demolishing a door. So this is our plan. Oh, sorry, our floor plan. Okay. So this would be the ground floor. So this is the entry. So we have a first chamber, another chamber, this nice guy, okay, kind of a bouncer, and then we have a laptop, and this security, well, for laptop of the security guard, our objective will be just to break in at weekends. The thing is that this is closed at weekends, and then, well, this security guard at weekend shift, he's just watching a movie, okay, and this is an access control, and then this is a magnetic sensor. Then we have a garage, this is the entry, then there is a camera, and then you also have some stairs, could be like pedestrian access with no cameras. So that is also important to remember that, well, not everyone walks through or goes into the garage through the main door or main entry. Okay, this is our target floor, objective floor. Here we have all these motion sensors, the photoelectric sensors. I'm sure that many of you do not follow me, okay, but I'll tell you, well, I'll explain it to you. In this practical case, very quickly, I would tell you about the planning and intelligence thing, because I'm not going to tell you how you search for information in the bins, in the rubbish, okay? Not at all, okay? These are some of the things that I wanted to show you. That is my bed, okay? You need to have all type of cards, screwdrivers, tools. Okay. I'll tell you more about this. Planning and intelligence. Let us say that the practical case starts now. The first thing you have to do is to recognize the environment passively. And we use Google. Why? Well, we use it because Google Maps, Google Street can give you lots of information. Many companies protect the facade very much, but not that much the back of the building. Also, Google Street, the good thing about Google Street is that when you click on many companies, you get photographs from the outside, from the actual building, but also from the inside of the company. So I found a case, you know, from New York. So if you want to go in there to break in physically, it tells you lots of information. Look, one camera here, one camera over there. They just have these photographs all over the internet. Camera, sensor. So if you really want to plan a theft to bank, if that were a bank, this bank would be in trouble. And the thing is that it also uses the same technology. If you zoom in, you can really find about the brand of the cameras, etc. So, okay, after my talk, okay, perhaps you want to check on your company, as I say, and to remove some of the photographs. So a drone is very much recommendable if you want to do physical intrusion. So you program a route, and then you say, okay, fly around the building, then go to the top, do some recording, and then come back. You don't have to do it yourself anymore. You can do it daytime, nighttime, whenever you want. Now, night recognition. This is very important because, well, some companies believe that they are very smart and then they leave the lights open so that people can see how beautiful the company is. But in this case, okay, this is daytime. You see nothing, okay? Daytime. This company, well, doesn't have the lights on, and then the cleaning people clean in the evening. They switch on the lights, and here we can see the inside of it. We can find security measures. I don't know what you can see it. You know, some people leave their computers on. I kind of blurred it a bit, but you could. Before I blurred it, you could get information. Then dumpster diving. So this is very important when you are doing a physical testing. You know, some companies shred or destroy papers, but others don't do it, okay? So, for instance, put yourself in the shoes of, or try to disguise yourself as if you were a member of a technical team. What else can do? Shoulder surfing. This is also very typical. So if you do follow-up of your employees, for instance, you follow, well, they go to have lunch, okay, and then if you pass by them, okay, if you do this shoulder surfing, you can get lots of information. This man here, this looks like if he's in a movie, but you could do it. For instance, you can use a telescope or zoom lenses, and you can check on that person from the distance. In this case, for instance, imagine that there is someone at work. You just wear your binoculars and you could see everything that this person is doing. So now, social engineering. So, simplest, easiest version to breach in a company is social engineering. So you just pretend that you are someone else, technical service, a pizza person, Pizza Hut person, or, for instance, I don't know, a girl can really, I don't know, try to walk into the company at night and talk to the security guard. So now I'd like to do this test. Sounds a bit minor and nonsense, but it is very efficient. Some security companies use normal walkie-talkie. So if you intercept the communication and then, okay, one of them says, I'm going to the toilet, and the other one says, yes, okay, I keep watching my movie. And I say, okay, I know where is the right time to go in, okay?
A ver, si no, la paso ahora para allá. No, la tengo yo. Vale, espera. A ver, ¿qué la paso? Vale. No sé qué lado está. Aquí. Vale, bueno, esto es un poco putada porque no veo lo que estoy haciendo.
Oh, I can't really
Lo voy a poner más pequeñito.
see the screen.
Vale, esto es una prueba.
Okay, I will. Okay, as I say, this is a very minor test. I cannot really see anything. So, walkie-talkies, those that are not used for private communication, it uses two frequencies. RLS in the US, and then another frequency, okay, out of the US. So if I do that, I don't know whether you can see a part in the middle where you see lots of red color. This thing here. If you select this thing here, can you hear anything? You should be hearing something. Okay, it's my fault, okay. I will just turn up the volume.
No sé si va a ser muy buena prueba, vamos a intentarlo.
Okay, see if it works.
Eduardo,
cuéntame.
Soy yo, ¿por qué no lo haces con nuestros walkies?
Why don't you do it with our walkie-talkies? Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
Vale, bueno, me imagino que será este que estoy poniendo aquí, vale. Esto no es muy cómodo. A ver, espera, que esto hay que ajustarlo.
Hold on, we need to adjust this one.
Vuelvo a hacerlo. Vale. ¿Alguien ha dicho algo?
Did anyone say anything?
Espera, es que no veo ni torta. Pues me voy a desnucar, me voy a cambiar. No veo nada.
I cannot see anything.
Bueno, yo creo que lo voy a... Si quieres os pongo un vídeo que es una chorrada, pero vamos. Es básicamente eso.
Well,
Analizas,
it is
ves dónde está,
basically
coges
it.
una frecuencia muy
You
pequeña,
analyze it,
obviamente,
we know the frequency is very small.
no se entiende ni torta ahora, no sé si estará alguien hablando.
Is there
Voy a
anyone
poner un
speaking
vídeo
on the
que vamos a ver.
walkie-talkie?
A ver.
Okay. I'll play a video.
Aparece. A ver, bueno, mira, os pongo el vídeo.
Okay, I'll play the
No
video.
sé si es el vídeo más cutre o no, porque esto yo lo hice en casa.
I did that at home
Básicamente es
myself.
eso, tú tienes la frecuencia y como es bastante pequeña, puedes ponerte a verlo.
So you have the
y cuando
frequency,
empieza a hablar,
and then when the person starts talking,
estas son las pruebas que yo me digo a hacer.
so this is the testing that I did myself.
Pasa esta línea,
And then when it goes over this line, this is a plugin of this program, and it tells you if it goes above this line, there is a person talking. Okay, you see it goes over the line, tells you about the frequency,
voy a pasarlos.
and then you listen to the person.
Bueno, ya queda poco. A ver, ¿cómo se pasa? Se oye un poco mal, pero se oye, vale. Pero es algo bastante práctico.
So it is quite practical,
Es algo bastante práctico y que muchas empresas a veces no se dan cuenta.
and many companies
La
sometimes
seguridad está utilizando walkie-talkies
just
normales.
don't notice that, they
Si no los
just
está
do not
utilizando tan normales,
notice
se
it.
puede hacer, ¿vale? De todas formas. Bueno, y vamos con la parte divertida. ¿Cuánto queda?
And now let us move on to the good fun part. How many minutes are left?
Yo creo que
Okay,
Parte bridge.
good.
Lo primero,
Okay, bridge
control de
part.
acceso. Control de acceso, la inmensa mayoría de empresas
Access control.
utilizan controles de acceso
How?
RFID o
Well, most of the companies use RFID access control. So this may give them a false sense of security. And company says, okay, well, my card is very safe. But actually, this is trivial when it comes to accessing the company. So first of all, you should read the employee card.
Es muy cutre y
You can do that. Even this is like very kind of cheap, okay?
no sepa qué es el Prosmar, es un dispositivo que te permite
BlackBerry,
leer,
Prosman. So this is a device that allows you to read and write and emulate all type of cards.
la red
So battery
y un lector.
and then a reader.
Voy a conectarlo para que no tarde demasiado. Esto resulta trivial si tú
As
te
I said,
pones-
this is trivial.
tú te pones esto, por ejemplo, yo he hecho las pruebas.
I
Tú pones
tested
esto
it
en el
myself.
bolsillo interior de-
So
de
if you
tu
keep
abrigo,
this in the
pasas este cablecito,
your coat pocket, inner pocket of your coat, then
aunque esto parezca un
if
poco canto,
at the end of the
algo
day
así, no
you
sé,
end up with
tú
this
llegas a un tío que todo el
in
mundo
your hand
lleva
when
tarjetas de
you
acceso colgadas
walk.
o aquí
Okay,
detrás,
everyone has the
en la cartera.
access
Aquí
cards
detrás,
either hanging from their neck or in the back pocket of the trousers. And then if you come close to them, okay, you do like this and then the card is cloned. So for you to see how quick it is, let me show you.
Entonces, esto además, lo que también es un poco preocupante es que hay muchas
Also of concern is that companies use 4K cards with lots of capacity. So if you had to read it all, that would be a bit more difficult because it would take longer. But then you know that people that don't want to complicate themselves and they use the UID, that is to say, the only block of the card, okay? So the only thing that you don't have to read it all.
Vale, vamos a ver. Conectarme aquí un momento. Ahora mismo lo que tengo configurado es que la Raspberry
Now I have
conecte a la
my configuration is that I want the Raspberry to connect to the Wi-Fi of my phone. So you have everything attached to you, and then you said, okay, I have already read the card. This is much more practical than using a computer. I would use a computer this time so that you can see it, okay?
y la IP no me la sé de memoria.
An IP, I don't know it by heart. Give me a sec.
Vale, más breve. Mejor, así no ve la contraseña.
Okay, it's good so that you cannot see the password or the user's name.
No sé dónde está. No sé si se ve mucho.
I don't know whether you can see that alright or not.
Bueno, ¿veis algo?
Can you see anything?
Poco, ¿no?
Súbele el tipo de letra, si no es un
Okay, just
botón
increase
derecho en la barra de
the
arriba,
font type.
en la barra. Bueno, vete a settings.
Okay.
Espera, que quede ahí, no está fácil controlarlo.
Ya. Change settings, más abajo en el bloque del medio.
Ah, aquí.
Ahí. No sé dónde te ha salido la ventana de
Ah,
propiedades.
bueno, aquí. Vale, pero esto es más fácil. Ah, sí. Vale, ¿alguno que se lo sepa en memoria por no estar buscando?
Anyone knows that by heart? How to do it?
Derecha, derecha, derecha.
Right, 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 right. Right button chains. On the right, please. Get up to 28, please. 20. I correct myself. Brilliant.
Dale apply.
Touch apply. Over there. I exited. I'm sorry.
Más o menos yo creo que
Roughly speaking, as you can see it on screen, the result I'm looking for.
es un script que básicamente
This script initially the pros mark. We initialize.
ahora
Now
aquí no vais a ver mucho.
you can't see thin over here.
Bueno, a ver si se ve algo.
Okie dokie. The basic idea, the gist, is when you take a card, but if you bring a card, the guy bring a card over here and you, okay, on the pocket over here, and you take it out this way. No, you push it all around. No, it doesn't like to read it. Okay, it must not like it. Let's repeat the whole exercise again.
¿Qué? Sí, lo que pasa es que eso no lo pilla muy bien. No sé
It doesn't catch it properly. You do this, you get it closer to it. This way you can access the company. This is trivial. Let's see if I can put it in a better way, in a clearer way for all of you guys. I want to make it smaller. I'm fed up with it. Here we go. Okay, okay. That's better.
ahora únicamente para escribir.
It's very simple to write. If you want to write it this way, we have to copy the card. So we do a write. Let's see if I can copy it over here.
Esto,
Let's do this.
vale, pues no la gusta.
It doesn't like it. Period. No way, Jose. Data sample for X and for 10 and so on. Right.
Básicamente aquí pondríamos
Basically speaking, we write 010B
2, 3,
2399 instead of 4 we write 5, making it different.
lo dejamos así.
We leave it like this.
Enter.
We press enter. I write 0 here. And this is it. Now it's written.
Ah, en vez de right. ¿vale?
Instead of to press right, we can see it as trivial as this, you guys.
Vale, esto no tiene nada del otro mundo.
This is very simple thing. Once you do this,
Vale, pues nada, la gana escribirse. Toca
this fucking doesn't want to write on the screen. No, there's no easy application, in my understanding.
a ver, ven para acá.
Come over here, guy.
Esto no es muy práctico.
This is not very practical doing this way, my friends.
No, no lo está pillando.
No way, he can't catch it. It doesn't like it. Sorry.
Tú vas a hacer algo.
You can touch your walls.
Vamos a probar con esto.
Fuck them up. You may like it now.
Joder, otra vez.
Oh, once again. Shit.
Esto me parece que os lo vais a creer. Si no, os pongo un vídeo.
But you have to to believe it or not. This is like God. You believe it or not. I'm not gonna lose or waste my time doing this stuff. 4 plus, right? Let's see. 0D 1 2 1 2, for example. If we do this, let's get this machine closer to us. You have to put the 0 at the very end. It seems to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's here or over here because, to be honest, by memory, I don't know. This must not be, I'm sure. With a 0 at the very end. Okie dokie. Stop reading it. Let's see. It doesn't fucking want to do so. You have to buy it or not, because I'm running out of time, so you guys have to believe it. It's like God. With this, what can we do? One is clone. When you get a clone of it, we can use. I can use my card to simulate and reproduce similar cars. This thing is a car splinter. You introduce a format, and this prints out a similar format. If you devote your time to taking photographs of the graphic cars from employees, you can do triangles, and this is trivial. I'm gonna speed up. Once you are inside the building, there will be many parts where you don't know what the security measures in this part of the building. So you need to know the interiors of the building. For this purpose, you can use mirrors, small cams, surveillance cameras. You need to know what's inside. The really nitty-gritty part of the job is to know there will be security systems, sensors, alarms. This is a magnetic sensor. This is the very first thing you're gonna see, which is put on the emergency doors. It can appear on every single emergency. There is a magnet, an electric magnet generated by electricity. When it detects that the magnetic field is filled, the alarm goes out. This is so trivial as being done that, okay, is put in a magnet for the alarm in the magnetic field is inside. This can be done from the side I'm going to explain to you. It should be on this side because this is where we are opening it, but depends on the magnet power. Perhaps from the other side you can avoid this sensor. So you can, for this purpose, you can, with this machine, you can open the emergency doors from the other side. So you can put it and open it. If you have enough powerful magnet, I got 2 magnets inside a box. If you get it to stick to something, you screw it up. These magnets are 80 kilos. This from the other side of the door keeps many sensors like this. This one is smaller, and you can put it. Let's test it. I will show you on a video on screen very quickly. Let's see.
Esto es un caso real. De alguna manera, esto es la empresa a la que se hizo el test de intrusión. Luego permitió grabar las demos.
This is a real case of a company where we did the intrusion test. This company allows us to record the thing. This door has an alarm connected. If I find the mouse, in this case, it rains. In this company, the alarm is a very windy area. This door has when the moment there is a little wind running through, the alarm goes out. Very important thing when you are going to test these trials and tests, you need to know what's on the other side of the door. At this very precise moment, this right moment, the police officers came, and the police officers don't trust you. You can say, okay, I'm authorized. I'm a guy authorized to do these experiments, but the police agent didn't trust me. I then saw it on the video. My goodness, this is not normal. Let's move on to the motion sensor, peer infrared passive sensors. Our body emits heat which generates radiation or light that we don't see it, but it can be detected through infrared rays. These machines measure the amount of light they're getting, and they detect the brusque changes of temperature. If you move quickly, it detects you. Let's see the test. I'm gonna put this man here with a cloak. These sensors detect the brusque and radical changes of temperature. They on Decathlon they sell you €10 blankets, and let's see what happens. This is our case tested. This sensor was cool. The normal thing, okay, if it's red, it rains, but this one has a green. I'm noticing a change, but I'm not ringing. This is good for the test. I'm gonna find the videos. Recording. My colleague doing the test action. On this video, you're gonna see that it's green all the time. Here is one. Don't laugh, man, because it's working. This really works.
¿Vale? Esto parece coña, ¿vale? Parece coña, pero vais a ver que es que con cacharros... O sea,
It seems I'm joking, but with only spending €30, you're gonna get into so many buildings because magnets are all around. If I'm getting through this way, you can see how easy it is for me to sneak in through. The alarm didn't go out, didn't ring. I leave it this way, but imagine this in reality. It only takes 1 minute, but the sensor is quiet. This one is soft or is in red, but no sensors said a thing. You go to the Decathlon shop, you buy this blanket, and sensors cannot detect you. Anyone want to pretend something on stage? Should you want to do something? There are 2 blankets left for you guys. Wanna test it? This is my face. I'm fucking serious crazy with this thing after this experiment. I read it on one forum on the internet. I thought to myself, this is a fake. But no, it's real truth. So let's move on to the improved measure about our invisibility layer, or this is a more realistic case. You get a bar like this, you mount it, it's broken in several pieces, you stick it with cellophane to the blanket, and it's a flat surface, so the sensor detects you less intensity. So there is a bigger ratio of certainty. This is my face again. Fucking crazy. This is absolutely amazing. This detects changes of heat. Drones make some noise. If I can make my drone fly, will it be detected by the sensor? Let's see what happens. I wanna let you see this a long time. This is a small size. Sorry. Let's maximize, please. Can we maximize it, please? Can you see if we can maximize it? I can't see it on screen, my friends.
Bueno, yo qué sé.
It's not fun to see it on that corner, but this is a presentation. So I will open this presentation. This is it. Here we go. I'm gonna make it bigger. The fact I'm having 2 screens at the same time. I don't know where's the mouse. I will make it bigger. Let's see. View format reproduction, full screen. Testing. No, this was not the one I was looking for. Am I okay with time? I'm fucking bad with time. Sorry. Basically, I don't want to get heavy about this. Nothing happened because sensor only detect Brax changes. In this very case, soft changes were not detected. If you do this, please be careful. I will show you on screen because I have it here. Let's see if I have the mouse again. I will show you on screen.
Vamos a ver.
Here we go.
Esto no sé si salta.
I don't know where it's going to appear. It's supposed to appear on here.
Vale, bueno, este es el vídeo.
This is the video I recorded.
Aquí tal vez se ve un poco mejor el sensor.
You can see the sensor much better. You fly over, the sensor says there is something, but it's not a significant change. So this allows you, you notice that the sensor doesn't say anything. I noticed some change, but nothing relevant. This serves as, once you are inside, the fact for you to recognize the interior, this can be very practical. This can be very useful as to detecting where the security measures are located. Let's take it out. So please be careful about this situation. When you do this, try to control the drone properly, because this can happen. The drone is fucking going the ground. Let's move on to the next slide. Oh, this is now my face after the station. This sensor is fucking shitting. So this, but believe it or not, many companies have these sensors on. These are bypass photoelectric sensors. You use ultraviolet or infrared rays. If something goes in between or underneath, it rings. The way you can skip it and vulnerate it is ultraviolet rays, and the secure ones are ultraviolet within a certain range of frequency. These are more secure. With this one, we have this. If you have a pointer, and this pointer is like this, which costs 10 euros, which is it's an infrared light pointer, which reaches 5 kilometers away. This says nothing. These are ones, they are tawdry or cheesy pointers. I won't buy pointers very expensive. They are, their technology is the same as the one you can see on the screen, and they are used in many places. Basically, this launches a ray onto this. It rains. This is very, very tawdry rain. But what happens? If you do this, you plug this in. If you plug it where the laser is, where the pointer is, you do it this way. Over here, you can take it out. You can eat pizza. You can go in and through, because this sensor says anything. It doesn't complain about anything. Now it's complaining. The moment I remove it, it starts ringing. My gosh. I got a video for this, but the same applies, so I will skip it. And you get a face of surprise. What the fuck? I want you to know that these three things are installed in many of the companies, because physical security is not like firewalls. Physical security is installed when a company enters the building. A company can have the very same physical measures, security measures, for over 20 years, because they think, okay, nothing happens in my company. And normally, an alarm is connected through telephone wire, 3GSM. When you do intrusion physical test, you need to test where and check where the alarm is located. You need to see if it's going through a wire, cable, 3G or 3GSM. Because if you locate where the alarm is and you know what company is in charge of it, you can know if the company tries to know if this device is living. Is this device living? It says the company. Yes, it's living. So I get there, I cut the cable and the wire, and I put an inhibitor. If the company does not ask the alarm, are you alive? When the alarm goes out, we'll send a warning to the company. If I'm able to reach it to the alarm 30 seconds before it communicates this to the company, I will put the inhibitor, and no signal will reach to the company. So no security physical measures won't ever be successful. If you sneak through the bank and the alarm controlling company does not control that this alarm is still living and alive, you'll get 30 seconds to put the inhibitor in. The moment we get into the building, we find this. And I said, shit, I don't have any magnetic car, and this seems to work properly. So let's see. It has 2 screws. Let's screw out the screws. And I caught this. What are these 4 numbers? Yes, yes, yes. This is a funny thing.
Con esto es el hecho de intentar llevar cacharros tan sencillos como un destornillador.
Very simple devices like a screwdriver or a post-it. When I saw this, I said, fuck, it's just the same, it's similar. It's true. Our practical case, our case study with all the previous knowledge of the alarms, we get in through the garage. This camera only looks at the cars because it's a car, so this car only focuses on car. What the fuck am I going to watch over the pedestrians? So it's an access control where only the big fish, the chips, can get in, not normal people. So my car was a normal people car, not the chips ones. For this purpose, I created a script which makes brute force. With this machine allows us to emulate, test all the IDs. ID 0, it starts with 0, and let's target the chip, and this apparatus says go, 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 go. And you can see what's going on. This script, I will upload it for you guys. It's very simple to understand. It allows you to press and do brute, gross force over it. In this very case, I didn't have too much video. I was on my car with the radio on. It took me some time. You can see video and you can listen to music. What did I do here? I cut it because the car I tested were previously imprinted by the company. My plan was not to show the company's name, so I tested 2 cars. They don't work. You turn on this machine and after a while it works, because at the 3rd attempt it started working. It was a very trivial thing. I will upload this script for you guys to understand. If you get the idea of what's it like and identify, you can automate to perform brute gross force against, and you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so on. It's easier. With this, I entered it. Here we got the camera. How can we blind this camera? With the same apparatus, with the laser? This is marvel. This is marvelous. During the weekends, it was on the weekends watching the movies. The custodian, the guardian, was watching videos, and so the guardian didn't pay attention to the door. The door was blind. The guardian outside, the janitor, didn't suspect anything, even though afterwards we have the suspicion that somebody is snuck in, and nobody will know because during this meantime the car was blinded. We got a valid card for this access control. We get the Harry Potter's claw. We plug in the 10 euros laser. We take the information. We go out through the very same place. And to avoid the vigilante, the guardians outside, we get out through the emergency door, which is the one you saw previously on the video. And of course, you have to pay for it. Of course, success. The big problem is that even though this is a movie thing, a joking thing, I encourage you to check in the companies you are visiting. some time ago, with my girlfriend, I went shopping around there, and I was checking the ceiling at the same time. I'm always checking the physical ceilings of the shops I'm visiting with my girlfriend. Please pay attention to what is going on around here, because most of the companies are like this. This is not an isolated case. Many big important companies have physical environments absolutely unprotected. So, conclusion. So, requirement of creativity and lateral thinking in implementing real physical intrusion. This is very important, absolutely important. Red Team approach as a solution to conduct a comprehensive integral security evaluation in an organization. If for instance, a company may have 1 million firewalls and software, but if you are able to go and sneak in through the physical door, this is not valid. You are unprotected. Period. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Nada. Por ahí hay una.
Hola, sí. Una charla muy interesante.
A very interesting talk, my friend. Thank you very much. You talk about movement or infrared motion lasers. Ultrasound sensors are the same. No. Ultrasound sensors are more complicated. I didn't have time to explain this to you. I prefer to go the easiest way. Ultrasound sensors, they emit on a specific determined frequency, and when you're walking around, if the sounds touch you, they alter the field. They are much more complicated. If you have an apparatus and you know what the alarm is, you know the manufacturer, you can detect what frequency they are emitting. You can emit much stronger in such a way that they target, they enrich, that they notice you are walking around. It requires more hardware, but it's super cool. It's visible, absolutely.
Sí, y los
Volumetrics. I didn't have time to test the volumetric sensors. These systems are safer and more secure. My talk was about improving these systems. If you skip them, they are trivial. They are implemented in 90% of companies. Obviously, there are places which are secure on a determined frequency. They are more secure. But this is the minimum of companies having this. The funny thing about this is that this one I presented to you, these simulations I did are feasible in many of the companies. Volumetrics are more secure. That's a fact. Thank you, Eduardo, for the nice presentation.